RogueBlox is the newest semi-potential, maybe probably likely weekly cash grab game on Roblox. We can tell because of three main systems. Number one being permadeath to incline people to play way more time than the game is worth. Next up is multiple classes, which incentivize people to experiment and make new builds to play for, also way more time than the game's worth. And oh, did I forget to mention the game has a Robux-based economy where you sell items for Robux and it incentivizes pay-to-win gameplay while also potentially allowing the devs to make money spawning items? Oh right, yeah, that too. Anyway, by the time you guys are seeing this, it's a day after my birthday! But also I'm live on Twitch, I'm playing Deltarune Chapter 3. I'm probably gonna beat it this time, but I'm also gonna take a break from streaming because I'm gonna be gone for another few days because it's July and I'm taking another trip out of the country. Let's get into it. Come watch me on Twitch, and let's get straight into the video. Anyway, RogueBlox has a Robux-based economy. This means that you can sell or trade items in-game for Robux. This is problematic for quite a lot of reasons. First of all, it's very pay-to-win, which I'll touch up on more detail later, because you can just kind of sell or buy legendary relics from people and pass them down, and then you guarantee yourself at least one or two permanent high-level relics, and you don't really need to do anything but pay for it. For every playthrough from when you start, you can just have a really good relic which helps you long term, and a lot of them are really strong and synergize very well even with other relics and even enchants to a degree. Now this is bad for a lot of reasons, but the most obvious is just the pay to win aspect of it. It gives a very clear advantage to people just willing to buy legendary relics and good items for all their slots. Meanwhile, those who can't or are unwilling to spend Robux in a game that'll probably only be a trend for a couple of weeks are left at a clear disadvantage having to grind or farm for things, and maybe if they're lucky a high level player will come along and dump their legendary tier loot they consider garbage onto you. Now let me draw a parallel from another game called Ark Survival Evolved. The absolute biggest piece of dog shit to ever get that successful. Ark is genuinely one of the worst games ever created, and if you've played it a lot, you know it. The devs of that game would play on public servers, or like game-sponsored servers, so they'd have these like hosted servers that are hosted by them or hosted on dedicated servers, and then they'd play on those, and what they would do is they'd play on these servers and sell items to players via Steam's market for US dollars, and basically inflate their own game's economy to make some extra money, and then they'd ban people for threatening to report them. Now, I'm not saying the devs of Roblox do this or have been caught doing this, because they haven't, but it is very possible and very easy to get away with if the devs were to sell items off of alt accounts and then just ban people without reason if they were to do something that they don't like. And the bans would be essentially untraceable to a person because they're just banning them without reason. So people are just gonna wake up one day and see, oh man, why'd I get banned from this game? They're trying to appeal. Unappealable because, the devs did it. And even if they see that the devs did it, the best case and the most realistic case, the devs get away with selling their items that they can freely spawn in for Robux because the game's affiliated and sells things actively with Roblox. So it doesn't count as black marketing the way other devs would previously. Like, you would see other game devs have done this, but they would sell items for straight US dollars on alt accounts with their games. The problem with this is that it's against Roblox TOS to sell items via a third party for third party currencies like real life fiat currencies like the US dollar. So this was easily catchable and punishable even if the devs themselves didn't get caught because their alts would be easily traceable. But now they can sell the items, have it as clean Robux, which don't need technical money laundering as far as Roblox cares, put it into group funds by buying stuff, and then DevX the Robux into real dollars, all without it being against Roblox TOS for any, amount that matters, and without it having bank wires to track transactions through services like PayPal, which a lot of black marketers use, because Roblox transactions are more secure than PayPal transactions for whatever reason. Actually, it's because Elon Musk owns PayPal, and, he's kind of an idiot, but you get the point. Now, while this is currently a non-issue for the most part and is not confirmed to have all been an issue, this is really just a hypothetical problem for the platform as a whole. It hasn't happened in Roblox, at least not to the knowledge of the community so far. Who knows, maybe it is happening. But it is a reason for why Roblox as a platform shouldn't be allowing Robux-based economies in their games. Even though these devs may not do it, it's very likely the average shitty weekly release overhyped Roblox game that drops every once in a while will absolutely do it. Devs using this mechanic won't need to exit scam anymore like the sorcery owners did, because they can just now infinitely dupe and sell legendary rarity items. And from this, devs could actually just purposely make insanely low rates for items, like Project Magetsu did with like races having 0.007375% chances to get stuff. And then now they can just do this to charge exorbitant prices for items in game that they'll sell on alts, which they could just sell them on alts and be like, oh hey, you should buy this one time, only $1 trillion in Robux. I have it, by the way, I just got really lucky, I have no affiliation with the devs, this is just a random account, right? Now this game hasn't done it, but it is a possibility, and this game has its own issues with this system, which I only touched upon briefly up until this point, because I felt like it was more important to talk about Roblox implementing this, because it's honestly just not a good idea as a whole for them to add this. But as far as RogueBlox goes, it's really just pay to win. The actual Roblox issue is the game's pay to win, like blatantly. Both new and old players can abuse this to get a very much unfair advantage against new players who are unwilling to spend. Solo progressing and new to the game? Use Google, find the best legendary relics for the class you want and synergy with whatever else you want, including enchants, and then just buy them off someone for a couple hundred Robux, and save yourself a couple hours in game for progression for your optimal build. Solo progressing and you're not new to the game? Literally do the exact same thing. But if you're solo progressing, new to the game, and don't have friends who've already spent 1,000 Robux or have grinded everything for hours on end, well, the game's not that hard, so you'll actually probably reach your first Ultra class in just 2 to 3 hours of playing. But if you want to play a non-casual gladiator, you're going to be outclassed by the legendary relics, some of which can really make a large difference in most fights. And when specialized with builds, they can stack tons of damage for free, like the dumbass Mark of Searing people synergize with on Ruby enchants, and now your M1s just do 3 more damage per hit on proc for like 5 seconds at a time. Or well, all of your hits do. It's literally just free damage. Like, it's insane how strong some of these relics can be when you synergize them properly. So then it gives you a choice. You either have to spend the time other people didn't to grind relics on something you probably don't want, because honestly, I wouldn't want to grind relics for 3 hours either. Or you have to pay for it in hopes of getting the ones that you want to synergize with your build properly. So now you're only 2 hours behind on loot from Ranked Gladiator, because getting relics takes longer than getting your Ultra class most of the time, or at least getting the optimal ones too. And if you really just want to fill those slots, then you're good, but some relics even synergize with other relics, so it just gives more incentive for you to buy them and skip the grind so you can actually enjoy your builds being optimal without having to waste 6 years, I almost said a curse word, oopsies, 6 years of your time grinding for these relics. Anyway, that's really it. As a whole, I think Roblox is making a really big mistake by trying to implement stuff like this. Like, I think it started when they started letting people like charge US dollars directly for things, so you can buy like monthly subscriptions to games now, like premiums for games, and then you can buy subscriptions to like play games, and then you could buy games outright in US dollars. I think that was always like a bad idea, and now this is going to be bad because it's just going to give devs a way to make money illicitly, and it's probably going to be abused through crazy drop rates in like CC exit scam games, or at least used to be exit scam games. Now they don't need an exit scam. Now they just gotta scam, you know. They'll probably still exit scam though. Anyway, RogueBlox, the game's a bit pay to win, and it's probably going to die down in hype over the next month or so. Like, any game you call the Deep Woken Killer dies in a month, so get real. Come check out my live channel where I'll be uploading, and of course, subscribe, and also shoutouts to YouTube members Green, Brick, Pickle, Goobka, Highcard, who has reached 6 months, and of course, Drizzy Drake fan, who has reached 18 months almost. I love you all, have an amazing day, and goodbye.